First of all, what went through my mind is how stupid am I to actually volunteer for this. It was unbelievably painful.
The present perfect continuous. The present continuous. The present perfect. The past perfect. We're going to be covering all these subjects for you, okay? And we're also going to be giving you some assistance with your verbs. And in this video we'll be defining things as clearly as possible and making it as simple as possible, because the whole subject, all of it, is very, very simple indeed. Now, in the last video we had a lot of scrolling examples coming up. I was throwing examples at you all over the place. Well, there won't be any scrolling examples in this video, although there will be a lot of examples for you. Okay, what I'll try and do in this one is talk through the examples. Now, in the last video I accidentally said that when you put a past participle at the end of a present participle, that is how you get the past participle. I said that accidentally, and I did actually correct myself. I had writing going over the screen to say, whoops, I got that wrong. Of course I know that you don't do that. In fact, let's try that. Okay, I do apologise for that silly mistake. I had no idea I'd said that, okay? Just to clarify things here, and we'll be going on to this subject a little bit later, with a past participle, okay, a past participle, okay, it's a case of adding ed or d to the end of an infinitive verb, alright? An infinitive verb. That is any verb in which you can put to in front of. And these verbs make up the overwhelming majority of verbs. The overwhelming majority. We can safely say that more or less all of the verbs in the English language have an infinitive, and if a verb has an infinitive, it can have a present participle. Okay, so some examples for you here. Okay, with these verbs here, these ones here are regular verbs, and adding either ed to the end of them, okay, they are now past participles. Okay, so the ed and the d are going at the end of the infinitive version of the verb. right? And here's some examples with the irregular verbs. To get a past participle in an irregular verb, here, these are some examples. And don't forget also that irregular verbs, right, they have infinitives as well, alright? And so much for that. Present participle. Right, we take the infinitive version of the verb. Infinitive version of the verb. Once again, that is any verb you could put to in front of. And we add ing at the end. Alright? And that is what's known as a present participle. Adding ing at the end of the infinitive version of the verb. Whether it be a regular verb or an irregular verb. Now, I just want you to have a quick look at this here. And what you're going to be seeing here is a very tall CD rack next to a very small notebook. Okay, so what was the point in showing you that? Well, that is a way of explaining the difference between the amount of regular verbs there are in the English language compared to the amount of irregular verbs. We could say that the tall CD tower, right, is like the Freedom Tower in New York, and that is representing the amount of regular verbs there are. And the small notebook sat next to it is like a small thatched cottage in East Sussex. Going from my list here, and there are more, I've got 6,000 regular verbs, and there's about 10,000 of them, or thereabouts, right? My list here has got 168 irregular verbs. So, well, let's just say that these are the commonly known, right? The commonly known regular verbs and the commonly known irregular verbs. 6,000 compared to 168. And this is why you can memorize all the irregular verbs if there are only 168 of them. And with the regular verbs, they're nice and easy because all you have to do is add ed or d to the end of them to create a past participle, right? And of course add ing at the end of the infinitive to create a present participle. But we've already explained that. However, just one little tiny point, okay, just in case anybody out there is making this mistake, please be careful. When you are adding ed or d to the end of the infinitive version of a regular verb, don't forget with some you do have to do this for example. This one here, plugged, right? If you add, you say, well, the infinitive is plug, to plug something in, right? Now, you'd have to make that plugged. You'd have to add another G there, okay? As well as the ed. Because plug, to change it into a past participle, plugged, you'd have to add the other G there, okay? It's just, there's a lot of examples like that. Here's a few for you here. Okay? These are verbs where you've got to add another letter to actually, as well as adding the ed or the d, otherwise the word is spelt wrongly, to put it in a nutshell. Alright? Rely is quite a good one, isn't it? That's quite a good example. I mean, imagine doing that. Of course, that's not how it's done. To rely, fine, that's an infinitive. Right? You lose the y, and it's I-E-D. Relied, that is the past participle. Right, well, I think we've got that cleared up. So now I hope you've got a good understanding of past participles and present participles and infinitives. Very important that you know about all these things and about the difference between the amount of regular verbs there are compared to the amount of irregular verbs. The difference is absolutely overwhelming. We can safely say there are hardly any irregular verbs, but they do have to be learned. So, can I give you some examples of verbs that have no infinitive? Well, I can. The modal verbs. Here's an example for you. The modal verbs. They have no infinitive. And if a verb has no infinitive, it can have no past participle and it can have no present participle either. I mean, imagine adding ing or ed to the end of these words. Shoulding, coulding, wooding. Or adding ed to the end of them. Of course, doesn't make any sense at all, because these words, these modal verbs which express qualification and mood, a lot of them are used in questions, aren't they? Should I come over tonight? Okay, these ones there just stay the same no matter how you use them. In the present, past or future, they just stay the same. These are the modal verbs, and as you see, there's not that many of them. You can write them down so you can remember them. They have no infinitive and no past participle or present participle. Okay, so to start with the simple present, right? I am on a flight to Brazil. I am here. I make videos. I enjoy coffee. There are a lot of different examples. Right, let's go back to the flight to Brazil. I am on a flight to Brazil. That is in the simple present, okay? Simple sentence, I am on a flight to Brazil. There's no clauses in it. Well, there's one clause in it, right? There's one clause in it. I am on a flight to Brazil. Simple sentence. It's saying where I am at the moment. Okay, now, remember with this word am here, I am on a flight to Brazil, or I am here just now. Okay, am only goes with I. It doesn't go with any other pronoun. That is the only way you can use this verb here. Am, alright, with I. Alright, doesn't go with anything else. Let's Okay, let's go for we are on a flight to Brazil. Let's try putting am there. We am on a flight to Brazil. You see, sounds ridiculous. As would I are on a flight to Brazil. So with are, just like with were in the last video, with are, okay, it's talking about more than one thing or more than one person. Or when you're saying you. You are looking very good today. Okay? You, we, or they. Okay? You, we, they. Then it's are. Alright? Now, what about is? Okay, so she is on a flight to Brazil. And it is on a flight to Brazil. Let's just say, for example, you posted something and it's went airmail and somebody's asking you where it is. You're saying it is on a flight to Brazil in the simple present. In fact, another one here with are. Okay, they are, so for example, if you were to say, if you're talking about two people, let's say John and Amy. John and Amy are on a flight to Brazil. Okay, John and Amy are on a flight to Brazil. Okay, so that there is the simple present. What about the present continuous? Okay, I'll change that. No, in fact, yeah, the present continuous. It's in a simple sentence. Okay, the simple present continuous. Okay, we're not talking about the present perfect continuous yet. All right, we're going to be coming on to that. Right. Okay, well, it's as simple as this. With the present continuous, you're using the participle, the present participle, right? Two verbs. For example, I am flying to Brazil. We are flying to Brazil. They are flying to Brazil. John and Amy are flying to Brazil. She is flying to Brazil. He is flying to Brazil. It is flying to Brazil. Okay? It's also known as progressive. Continuous, progressive. I am teaching English. You are watching a video. I am standing in front of you. I am looking right at you. I am thinking about something else. I am talking too much. Yes, okay. I think you get the general idea. Okay, present, continuous. It's the ing, isn't it? It's the ing. It's something that's going on. It's happening. You can also, you could say this, for example. I am going on holiday tomorrow. Despite the fact that you've mentioned the adverb tomorrow there, right? It's still in the present. You're talking in the present. I am going on holiday tomorrow. Right? So that's fine as well. So your present participle there getting used in the present simple. Nice and simple, isn't it? Is it? Right, okay. On to the next subject. Okay, and straight away let's give you a definition to this. Okay, it is the present perfect continuous, right? It's also known as the present perfect progressive. So also known as that, okay? I know it as the present perfect continuous because that's the way I was taught it, and it's correct. It's known as both things. Both are equal. They're both exactly the same. It's as simple as this. This is a definition to it. Right? It is have or has plus been plus a present participle. And I don't have to tell you what they are. Okay? Has plus been plus a present participle. Any present participle, right? Now let's give you some examples. Quite often it's used in questions, to be honest with you. Quite often it is, okay? It's used in in all manner of things. You have been going out a lot lately. You have been going out a lot lately. So this varies from the present perfect and from the past perfect, because with them all you needed was the have plus a past participle, or the has plus a past participle, and for the past perfect, had plus a past participle. Here we've got two verbs plus a present participle. Alright, I hope that makes sense to you there. Have you been waiting here long? Have you been waiting here long? I have been waiting here for absolutely ages. And some more examples for you. I have been working on this video for a long time. She has been staying with friends for 2 weeks. Okay, quite an obvious one there with the have and the has. Have can be used with these pronouns, right? And has can be used with these pronouns, just in case that one's confusing you. Okay, that's why the present perfect continuous and the present perfect have and has, and the past perfect only has had. Why? Because had fits with all of them, right? It fits with all the pronouns. Okay, some more examples of the present perfect continuous. Why not? It might have been... Let's even start again. It might have been being played on YouTube. However, I am not entirely sure. It might have been being played on YouTube. However, I'm not entirely sure. So we can say the present perfect, it is about an ongoing period of time. It is an unfinished event. It is something that is going on. I've gone for lunch and won't be back until 2 p.m. I've gone for lunch and won't be back until 2 p.m. That is something that's going on. we've played very well in the first half, but we'll have to play a lot better in the second. We've played very well in the first half, but we'll, that is a contraction for we will, have to play a lot better in the second half. Okay? And that there is a good example there, you see, showing you a compound sentence. That there is showing you a compound sentence with both simple present and the past perfect together in a compound sentence. So, yes, this wasn't discussed in the last video, but yes, you can use the present simple to go along with the present perfect in a sentence, right? I am at John's house and I've been here for 4 hours. I am at John's house, simple present. And I have been here for, doesn't matter how long, you could say ages, for a while, 2 hours, 3 hours, that doesn't matter. So there we have it, the present perfect and the present simple together in a compound sentence. If you want to know about compound sentences, there is a video for that on my channel. It is called Coordinating Conjunctions and Coordinating Clauses. That covers the whole subject of clauses and compound sentences. Covers the whole boiling of it, so please check that one out if you're not sure about your compound sentences. So what else can we say about the present perfect? Well, we can say that, we can also say that it usually follows on, doesn't it? So the past perfect, what does that do? The past perfect is the best way to describe that. It is talking about 2 events in the past. When I got home last night, all the work had been done. And look what we've got. Look what we've got there. We've got a complex sentence. Okay. Complex. And don't forget, if you want to know more about complex sentences, I can direct you to one of my videos there. It is called Subordinate Conjunctions and Clauses. And you'll find that on the Learning English playlists. That covers your complex sentences. Well, this is a complex sentence, by the way. When I got home last night, all the work had been done. Had been done. Had been done. Okay? Been there is your past participle. To be. We know that be is an infinitive. Of course it is. To be or not to be. Okay, when I got home last night, all the work had been done. You see what I mean there about 2 different events in the past. When I got home last night, subordinate clause, all the work had been done. Let's try putting has in there. All the work has been done. Doesn't fit, or have. All the work have been done. Pardon. Okay. Let's try using the present perfect continuous. All the work have being done. Have been doing, or you know, it just sounds crazy, doesn't it? It's the only one that fits anyway, you know. And quite often if you get stuck, do that. Say, right, well, what else fits? Nothing else fits. It must be correct. Right, and a couple more examples for you of the past perfect. Now, just before I give you the examples, the past perfect can also be used with the simple past as well, but the simple present doesn't really fit into it because we're talking about two events in the past. So here's a couple, maybe 3 or 4 more examples for you here, and then we'll have a look at the whole subject for you. Hope that helps a bit for you. Right, now on to the big quiz. I'm 100% confident you'll do extremely well. So good luck with that, and I'll really look forward to seeing you in the next show. Bye! Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to throw everything into a big melting pot here, right? And I'm going to ask you which tense we are writing in, okay? Which tense I am speaking in. Although I'll have it in writing and I'll be speaking at the same time, as if by magic. Okay. I gave up and I didn't care who knew it. I gave up and I didn't care who knew it. It's the simple past, okay? It's the simple past. There is no had there. There's no have. There's no has. That there is a simple past. I gave up and I didn't care who knew it. You could also say I gave up and didn't care who knew it. Right? If you're saying I gave up and I didn't care who knew it, well, let's change it to John gave up and he didn't care who knew it. Right, that's a good example there of a compound sentence, because you've got a subject and a verb in both clauses there, and you're coordinating. Conjunction is and. Right, so that's the simple past there anyway. Let's have a look at this one. I had given up and didn't care who knew it. And again, I had given up and didn't care who knew it. What tense are we talking in there? Well, that there is the past perfect, okay? Notice had there with the past participle, right? Given, right? Which is an irregular verb. Had given, had plus past participle, had given. I had given up and didn't care who knew it. And again, of course, you could turn it into a compound sentence there with another I between and didn't. Let's try this one now. I have given up and don't care who knows it. I have given up and don't care who knows it. Well, that there is the present perfect. Okay. He has gone out. He has gone out. He has gone out. He's gone out. Where's Harry? He's gone out. Have you got it? It's the present perfect. It's an event that's going on. He's gone out. Right? It's going on just now. He has been going out in the evenings. He has been going out in the evenings. That there is a present perfect continuous. Has been going, has been going. Has plus been plus present participle, in this case it's going, that there is a present perfect continuous. He is out just now. He is out just now. Alright? The simple present. He is going out. That there is the present continuous. Simple present continuous. Okay? We know that because it's got the present participle, the action verb going there, right?